Thank you for staying with us. The Julius Abure faction of the Labour Party says it has withdrawn the automatic ticket earlier reserved for presidential candidate Peter Obi, and that all its ticket and ahead of the 2027 general election are open to all qualified Nigerians. The faction took the decision after it held a National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja on Monday. Additionally, the NEC has disowned the 29-member interim committee led by Senator Nenadi Usman, which was set up to manage the party's affairs for 90 days. Ademola Lawrence has details.
Right after the 2023 general election, the Labour Party has not healed from a defeat and suffered at the poll. Also, allegations and counter-accusations of corruption and mismanagement of campaign funds further fractured the party. 1 year after, the party is still struggling to put it out in order, especially with the recent move by the governor of Abia State, Alex Otti, and presidential candidates of the party, Peter Obi, who says they are no longer comfortable with the leadership of Julius Abure.
What do you want?
In reaction to this, the Abure-led executive alongside state chairman and secretaries of the party are here at the party's NEC meeting. They also passed a vote of confidence on the national chairman.
NEC in session hereby reimpose confidence in the leadership of Barrister Julius Abure's led National Working Committee and urge all party members to continue to respect the leadership of the party and obey its lawful directives.
The NEC resolved in their meeting that Peter Obi is no longer the sole candidate for the party's presidential ticket.
NEC in session also reviewed the decision of the National Convention to reserve its presidential and governorship ticket to Peter Gregory Obi and Alex Otti respectively. Consequently, all tickets of the party from presidency to the House of Assemblies are open to all qualified Nigerians.
What we have done simply is to open the window to accommodate more people. You will agree with me that democracy is about number.
The party says it is not afraid to wield the big stick against anyone who disrespects the constitution and stipulated procedure.
NEC in session also grant the National Working Committee power to take disciplinary action against any member that brings the party to disrepute.
The signatories to these accounts were Aisha Yusuf and Pastor Itwa Iwodalu. They were equally responsible for the payment of polling unit agents.
While the leadership crisis in the Labour Party lingers, the Edo State governorship election gets closer, and there are concerns that the internal crisis of another party may impact its chances on the ballot. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, joining us to discuss this development is a Labour Party chieftain, Dr. Nsabasi Ekanem. Good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you.
Now, talk to us. What really is going on with your party? We saw yesterday from the NEC meeting, divergent reactions and decisions have been taken, and some have called it far-reaching decisions. Now the party is opening up the space for more people to come in and perhaps, show their strength or their influence as it is, because they say it's a democracy. And there are those who have called that NEC meeting a nullity and an illegality. What really is going on with Labour Party?
All right, thank you for that question. I would say that what is happening in Labour Party is what is happening across all other parties. The usual internal wranglings, disagreement, but of course we disagree to agree. In March this year, the party at the Anambra Convention had agreed that for the presidential ticket and of course the governorship ticket of Abia State, it shall be reserved for Mr. Peter Obi and of course Dr. Alex Otti. Unfortunately, the party had to renege on its earlier promise or earlier decision and open up the ticket. I'm one person that believes in internal democracy of a party, and I believe that even Mr. Peter Obi is also a champion of internal democracy within the party. But Labour Party is not like any other party. We know what was the situation with the Labour Party before the entrance of Mr. Peter Obi in June 2022. I would have expected that the Barrister Julius Abure's NEC should have probably done wider consultation before taking that decision. Because, you see, many of us who are in Labour Party today, myself inclusive, were first obedient before we joined the party. And so it will interest anyone to know that there might be some really, really phenomenal exodus of people from the party if Obi does not get that ticket in 2027. But suffice to say that Obi is one person that also believes in internal democracy, and Obi as a person would even want to contest and win the party ticket. But I feel that the Labour Party leadership shouldn't have rushed into the decision of opening up the ticket, because the fact that that ticket was reserved for Mr. Peter Obi means that the Labour Party would have still have in control all the obedience that are in the party. But I feel that right now, given the fact that that ticket has been opened and anyone can contest, that emotional attachment of obedience to the Labour Party will begin to dwindle. And unfortunately, I see that as one thing that may affect the chances of the party, even in the forthcoming Edo State gubernatorial election, and of course the general election that is expected to hold in the year 2027. So while I am a campaigner of internal democracy, but I feel that in this regard, the party should have been more careful in taking that decision. After all, what was Obi's fault? Obi was only saying that with the internal wranglings in the party, with the issues of accusation that some have not been clearly resolved, and the other issues, that the party leadership should be reconsidered. And honestly speaking, for many of us who are chieftain of the party, we have called on Barrister Abure to kindly step aside. Let us have some level of sanitization within the party. And if the party feels that he is rightfully the leader of the party, then he can come back. That is what a honorable person who loves the party,
if I hear you correctly,
a great leader should do.
Dr. Ekanem, if I hear you correctly, from what you're saying, this decision taken by Julius Abure was not in good faith. It was perhaps because of the statement that the former presidential candidate Peter Obi made, and that is why he made this decision. Is that what you're saying? Absolutely. This is for me. I mean, for me and many other faithfuls of the party, it's a personal vendetta. It's a way of getting back to Obi and even Alex Oti for the meeting that he convened in Abia State. It's a way of telling them that, oh, you've crossed the Rubicon and now we want to get back at you by opening, because it was a promise that the NEC made at the Anambra Convention and it was celebrated by all. Reneging on that promise is just trying to let us know that, oh, because you did this as the presidential candidate of the party, we are getting back at you by opening up the ticket. But while this might be a personal vendetta, which some of us don't really care about, we feel that it may affect the chances of the party. Obi is the center. It's not just the center by name or by holding the presidential ticket, but it's the center because majority, I can tell you for a fact, because I've been involved with the Labour Party since 2022 when Obi joined the party till date. And I can tell you that majority of the people in the party, the Labour Party, are obedient. If Obi leaves that party today, 99% of people in the Labour Party will leave. So I don't even know what they are talking about 2027. Because if Obi leaves that party, the party will go back to what it was before Obi joined, which was basically a pawn in the hands of politicians. So I think that
the National Executive Committee of the party should reconsider that decision and ensure that all fences are mended and we can work together towards a successful Edo State election and 2027 election, rather than cast aspersion and unleash personal vendetta on anybody because of a statement that was made. After all, what Obi said is what most of us are saying, that the leadership has a challenge. What a leader like Abure should do is to actually look introspectively and say, what are the challenges? How do we solve this problem? Rather than take arms at, or take shots at members of the party, including the presidential candidate of the party.
Thank you for saying that, because I heard you talking about the 2027 election. I was expecting you will be focusing on the Edo elections and also Ondo elections. But perhaps do you see the hand of an external force in this crisis within the party? Some have said some persons were planted within the party to sort of derail the obedient movement ahead of the election. Is that true?
Well, I really must say that we have, of course, noticed that there has been a lot of infiltration in the party. And I can put it very clear to you that some of the things that are happening within the party now are machinations from opposition party. We can see the handwriting of opposition party, not excluding the leading party, the ruling party, honestly. The whole strategy is to ensure that Obi does not stand in for election in 2027, because I can tell you for a fact that since the 2023 general election till date, Obi's followership has quadrupled. I make bold to say that. The obedient movement has grown even stronger. But this time around, the strategy is for us to keep low, lie low, because one of the challenges we had in the 2023 general election was that we undermined the penetrative power of the opposition. And that worked against us. So this time we are trying to be tactical. But I can tell you that Obi's candidacy for Nigeria's presidency has never been brighter than it is right now. And so the opposition party are trying to bring in moles into the party, trying to influence the leader of the party to ensure that Obi does not have a chance in the 2027 election. But I want to tell you this. The same way Obi left PDP, came to Labour Party and was able to, win the party ticket, even went as far in the general election. Obi can leave Labour Party today and still make a remarkable mark in the 2027 general election. So whether the opposition
Interesting, Dr. Kanem.
Yeah.
You have made some weighty allegations that I'm wondering if you have evidence to back that up, talking about infiltrators from opposition parties. Do you have evidence to back that up? And I'm also wondering, how is it that the party is so porous such that infiltrators can easily come in? Does that mean that the party does not have measures in place to curb these infiltrators so much that the leadership of the party can be easily swayed? Isn't that concerning?
Well, let me put it this way. Infiltration of political parties is not a new thing. It has happened even from the First Republic in Nigeria.
Now, we are focusing on Labour Party itself.
For Labour Party, and I really must put it very plain and clear that infiltration is not a new thing. It has happened even in the former PDP. It has happened even in the APC. Across board, it has happened. Infiltration is something that happens because the party is made up of a lot of people who have different ideologies, who have different interests in the elections. But let me put it this way, that, when a leader has some issues, that like they say, if you are going to equity, go with clean hands. When a leader of a party has issues, especially issues pertaining his integrity, he can be made to compromise. And that's what we are seeing in the Labour Party. There has been some allegation made leveled against Barrister Bure. Some of those allegations have not been clearly addressed, and it is a great opportunity for for some people to come together and say, look, we can bring you down with this allegation, else, or rather, you do our bit, or we bring you down. And I mean, it's only possible that he probably may want to compromise. But I'm not saying that that is the situation here. But I'm saying that when there are issues within the party, and particularly the integrity of the leader of the party, or the national leader of the party, it is possible for, and national leader of the party, I mean Barrister Julius, not Peter Obi. That means that it is possible for somebody to come up with issues, with allegations, and say, look, you have been found wanting here, you have been found wanting here, and we can use that against you. But to save yourself, you need to do this and do this and do this for us. These are some of the speculations that are out there. And for every speculation, there is an iota of truth. What we are saying is that...
Why is it that the party is taking so long to addressing this matter of all of the gray areas that has to do with the leadership or of the party? Why can't the P2B, for which you have said that the party is anchored on, not looking at measures put in place so as to weed out these infiltrators and also to check the activities of the party, knowing that 2027 is a crucial moment, and Edo governorship election is also crucial for the party so that it can continue to spread its tentacles and structures across the 36 states of the Federation?
Weeding out infiltrators is a process. It's not something that will happen overnight. And I can tell you that His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, is doing everything with his power to make sure that happens. But you see, Peter Obi is not an autocrat. He will not come and be whipping the big stick at everybody. Peter Obi is having that strategic engagement with key leaders of the party and looking at ways the issues can be resolved. But when you have somebody in the party that refuses to accept his fault, accept his mistake, and work with the leadership or with good-meaning people in the party towards cleansing the party, then there's a problem. Right now, Mr. Peter Obi just made... okay, so the first thing Mr. Peter Obi was to acknowledge the fact that there's an issue with the leadership. What did he get in return? His ticket was open to everybody. So if the leadership of the party is interested in cleaning the party, in making the party, in removing infiltrators, then that will be achieved. But the way it's seeming, the way it's looking, it seems that the Labour Party leadership, the neck of the Labour, is not interested in all sanitizing the party. And Peter Obi, you don't expect Peter Obi to move around trying to, do the work himself. He's the leader of the party, quite all right. He's the presidential candidate of the party. But you don't expect him to do the work that the National Executive Committee of the party should do. But unfortunately, the National Executive Committee of the party does not see any problem in its leadership structure, in its leadership style. That is the major problem with the party. And until the National Executive Committee of the party accepts that there is a challenge with the party, we will not move forward. This is the situation that we have now. So Mr. Peter Obi is doing his best. But his best can only be actualized if the leadership of the party accepts that there's a fault, there's an issue with the party, and is willing to have that conversation so that the moles within the party can be exterminated. That's the only way we can move forward.
And with all these things that you have said, the question is, can we really, trust the Labour Party again at this point? In the build-up to the 2023 election, some persons saw the Labour Party as a viable third force at that time that could have probably, given others a run for their money. At this time, we have about 2 chairmen of the party and other stakeholders within the party who just want to take their part. Can Nigerians still trust the Labour Party as one who says it is ready to fight for the hopes of Nigerians?
What I would say is that, can Nigerians trust Labour Party? I don't know. But can Nigerians trust Mr. Peter Obi? Yes, Nigerians can trust Mr. Peter Obi. And that is what I stand for. I will tell you the truth today, that I stand for Peter Obi wherever he goes. If Peter Obi leaves Labour Party today, I'll come to TVC and tear my party card of Labour Party. Because he is the driving force of the obedient movement. All well-meaning Nigerians believe in the leadership style of Mr. Peter Obi, and we all join Labour Party because of Mr. Peter Obi. So if he leaves the Labour Party today, we will all live with him. So I'm not telling Nigerians to trust the Labour Party. I'm telling Nigerians to trust the leadership style, the leadership strategy of Mr. Peter Obi. So if Mr. Peter Obi goes to another party tomorrow, we will all live with him. That is what I will tell Nigerians, and that is what I can assure Nigerians, that with Mr. Peter Obi at the helm of affairs of this country, Nigeria is heading towards success. So whether Labour Party wants it or not, they can go to hell. The man we believe in is
choice of words. Choice of words. You are on national TV. We must put that caution. We know that your emotions are high as we speak, but we can only hope for the best for your party and hope that they resolve their internal issues. We have to leave the conversation here now. Dr. Nse Abasi Kanem, Labour Party chieftain, thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.